Hello, everyone, veterans, JKB employees, everybody watching here at the Veteran Lane YouTube channel. Welcome back as always. Hey, I want to do a special video for you here. We're going to still talk about VA disability and how to improve things, but we're going to be more personal level about this because I want to answer a question that I think is looming between many others out there. It's a question I've received in my career throughout the ranks, and it's a question I've even received recently from this side of the table. So let me give you a moment here to provide some of my knowledge and maybe some experience here in hopes of providing some insight to the question that's asked. So what's that question? I mean, you're probably wondering by now. Well, here's the question I get, and it comes in kind of different formats depending on what role I'm playing here. But the question ultimately is, hey, Veteran Lane or Attorney Lane, I want to help veterans. I want to make that difference. What position, what job within the VA is the best job to help veterans and to make that difference? So this question has come from even promotion opportunities. Like, I've done this position. I know I've helped veterans, but I want to do more for veterans. Which position moving forward would you say would be best to do to assist veterans even further? So it comes in some different angles and format, I suppose you would say, depending on what your position is and where you are when you ask this question. So I'm going to stand right here to answer this question. Why am I going to stand right here? Because there's really one main answer I feel to this question and one main explanation I want to give. And that's this. Here is our reception area when you walk into Lane's Legal here as a veteran or a veteran's family member or somebody seeking help for a veteran. This individual who normally sits here could be any one of us in this room. Could be the person hired to actually be here, or it could be somebody filling in like myself to fill this seat in order to greet and help veterans come into the door or to handle any other administrative issues that they are tasked with to assist veterans. Now, here at the firm, we too, like the VA, have multiple positions, but each one of those positions, just like the VA, is helping veterans and they're serving veterans. Paralegal, legal assistant, attorney, reception, they're all doing their part. Now, I give you this example and stand here doing it because that's, as I've kind of already mentioned, that's what the VA does too. The VA is a team. It's a very large team that has several roles. Well, maybe even similar to the military in an awkward kind of way. The idea is that the VA has multiple positions, multiple different skill levels, multiple different ways of helping a veteran out. And each one of those positions are going to be helping a veteran. Is any of those positions helping the veteran more than another? Is it better to work in certain positions to help the veterans? Not necessarily, I would say. I would say that we all play a role. I would say to answer the question ultimately is that you have to decide, knowing that each position plays a role and each position is helping veterans, you really have to decide what position fits you the best to help that veteran. Where does your education put you? Where does your knowledge put you? Where does your skills put you? What are your abilities? What are you willing to do to help the veteran? So I put it this way, and I imagine many people are going, well, that doesn't seem very helpful. Well, I hope it is, because ultimately what you got to do is we've got to weigh the pros and cons. So to weigh the pros and cons, I'd say go speak with others who work within that position or have worked in that position. Get their feedback. If they're willing to give it to you, take it. Kind of get an understanding from the different perspectives and points of views of different individuals who have worked in those positions. Now, myself, I've had the opportunity to work as a VSR, a Veteran Service Representative. It was definitely a different job when I did it compared to now. When I did it, there were paper files. But the job ultimately had the same requirements and tasks as the veteran. You were developing claims, maybe you were authorizing claims, you're sending out that final notification letter, you were packaging everything up in the back end. Maybe you were doing a lot in the front end to make sure that that claim got put together and the rules got applied in order to help the veteran. So understand that each position is doing its role just as veterans. Is one better than the other? I don't think so. We can even see that as an RVSR, a Rating Veterans Service representative, that this individual here now checks the work of, well, the VSR. They have to have an understanding of that position to enough to know, or at least the rules and laws, to know that this is, if all those rules were applied and if this is done and ready for decision. They gotta be able to apply those laws and those rules to make sure they make a fair and proper decision for the veteran. They've got to be objective. They can't be biased in the situation at all. So that's something else to ask yourself. Can I be objective? Or will my biases get in the way? What are my biases actually? Should probably be the first question because we all have them. And it's just things to consider when you're looking at a position. Now, there's quality positions as well. These individuals get to say, yeah, you made a critical error or you didn't, all the way down from the RVSR, the decision review officer, the DRO, the VSR, and so forth. Maybe that's where you want to help out at, helping identify some of those mistakes because they're going to happen. It's going to happen. We're not perfect by any means as a species, so it's going to happen. Maybe you want to be a supervisor. You want to be what we call the coach. You want to be able to lead people. You want to be able to mentor them and train them, and in order to help veterans, you want to give them the knowledge and the skills they need, or you want to improve their knowledge and skills with what you understand, what you continue to learn in the process in order to help veterans. You want to be able to help the logistics and make sure everything is covered down and that the team is functional because it's crucial in the process, just like any other position is in helping veterans. Now, we can talk about all the positions going up and all the positions going down, but I think ultimately what you want to understand is not only does every position play a role in helping veterans, and I would say there's no one position better than the other one in doing so, but you do have to understand what some of those cons are over the pros. You are going to experience different levels of bureaucracy and politics in all of those positions, from the bottom all the way up. You're going to experience different points of views of the veteran, the happy veteran, the sad veteran, the angry veteran. Maybe you won't have to work with the veteran directly at all, depending on what position you're in. Things to consider. What can you handle? What can you do? What are you good at? Ultimately, in the end. And I say it's the same even for the firm here. We may not be on the inside of the VA anymore. Well, why? Because I felt my skills were better served here. Maybe that's what you decide too. Maybe the difference is not just inside the VA anymore, but maybe it's on the outside. Whether that be a receptionist, whether it be a paralegal, legal assistant, or you spend that crazy money to be an attorney. I mean, we all play a role. The goal is the same. Maybe you want to be a VSO, a veteran service officer. Maybe you want to be an accredited agent. You can help veterans that way too. So keep in mind, if your ultimate goal is to help veterans, my answer is that there's so many positions that can do that. And I've probably barely scratched the surface in giving you all those positions. But if you want to do it from inside the VA, understand that there may not be, for you, may not be just one position that helps the veteran the most. And in my experience, we all played a role, we all worked hard, and we all had to come together in the end to complete the mission. And there was not one position that was better than the others at helping veterans. And you may disagree with that, and that's okay. But what I do encourage now at this point, I've given you some of my knowledge, my opinions on the question, and I'm hoping it's been extremely helpful. But I think what would be even more helpful if anybody's willing who has some experience working and helping veterans, no matter what the position is. VA, if you're comfortable with it, I leave that to you. I understand some of the challenges there. Put it in the comments. Give us a little tip or two. Help all those decide in their weighing of pros and cons and their understanding of how to help veterans and what each position does. Throw in the comments. Let's work together. Let's figure out how we can put everybody in the right places to help veterans overall and do the right thing. So with that, thank you everybody for listening to my special message here. Again, I always appreciate you. I'll see you next Tuesday with another video where we will sit down and talk about some rules and regulations of VA compensation and disability again. But in the meantime, have a wonderful week. And don't forget, we all play a role, and it's all about the pros and cons and what you can handle. Thank you.